Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Pixel. Guys, I am so excited for today because we are going to be working on my forever save file. Now, if you have been following along on TikTok or you saw my post on YouTube earlier, unfortunately my forever save corrupted. I'm absolutely gutted, not only because Audrey was in there, our legacy sim we were going to play, but if you follow me on TikTok, Ophelia, Jack, Mason, that entire family is also in there. I'm working super hard to recover Ophelia and the family, but it's not as easy as I thought it would be. So I thought, why not start fresh? Why not do some rotational gameplay as we kind of go along in the world? So welcome to my forever save file. It's going to be a cute little series we start together. I already have 2 households sorted. Over here we have the absolutely gorgeous Evelyn Harper. Now I posted a very short video about her on TikTok. If you're following along there, it's like a minute long. But Evelyn is like the Snow White of the world. I'll put a little picture of her on screen now. She is an absolute sweetheart. She loves gardening, but she is very anxious. She's a little bit of a loner. She's a little bit gloomy, but she absolutely loves animals. She quite likes living in a small little bungalow, but she really wants and craves connections with other Sims. She's just so nervous to get herself out there and go for it and make those meaningful relationships. Her neighbor, however, is the polar opposite. This is Marcus Reed, and Marcus is a menace to society. That's the only way I can describe him. Think of the worst man you've ever met. Boom, he's here. It's Marcus. He's materialistic, he's ambitious, and he's self-assured. And those traits aren't the absolute worst. He could be so much worse. However, by the time we've created this save file, I want him to have dated at least 5 women in Willow Creek, some of which are going to be married, so he's going to add quite a lot to the save file. Marcus wants 2 things, and that is money and fame, and he does not care how he gets there. So he's going to be super fun to play with. But now we've kind of got you introduced to the 2 Sims that I've already made for the save file, we're going to get into today's video. And we're going to be making the Nox household. Now I do have an idea in mind for what I want to do with the Nox household. I want there to be 3 Sims, I want there to be a young adult, a teenager and an elder. And I've already come up with their names, but we're just going to jump into create a Sim and I'll kind of explain their backstories as we create them. I do want to move them into Daisy Hovel, but I might have to evict the BFFs. I know everyone's a bit funny with evicting like the OG iconic townies, but the BFFs I just don't really care for, so we're just going to get rid of them. We're going to go ahead and pretend like the BFFs never existed. I might add them back to the world at one point, but for now, they're gone. And this is going to be where Ria, Jude and Mandy live. They have so much lore and I cannot wait to tell you all about the lore I have planned for them. Before we get into CAS, I'm going to explain why my map looks the way it does. And every single one of my worlds looks like this, more vibrant, more filled, just more alive. That is because of 20th Century Plumbob's map replacements. I'll leave a link in my description because I know a lot of people are going to want to know how my world looks as good as it does. And it is purely because of her overrides. So I will leave a link to her Patreon in the description. Everything is free. It's absolutely amazing and I'm obsessed with it. Let's get on to making the Nox household. They're going to live on the garden essence lot. And I'm so excited to show you guys what I have planned for them. So we're going to start out making our young adult. Her name is Ria. And just for a little bit of background, Ria has had quite a hard life. Her mum left when she was super young and she was kind of forced to raise her little brother on her own. Not entirely on her own, she did have her grandmother, but as we'll explain a little bit later, she wasn't exactly the most reliable caregiver for Ria or Jude. So Ria's had quite a hard life and I want to reflect that in her style and her appearance. We're going to start out by giving her her traits. One of the traits I'm giving Ria is hot-headed. Get it all out, girl. Another one we are going to give her is loyal. I'm not sure where loyal is unless I'm really blind. Oh my god, I'm so blind, it's right here. We're going to give her loyal. And we are also going to give her overachiever as well. And again, I'm not sure where overachiever is. Or maybe competitive actually. Or let's do overachiever. So she's hot-headed, loyal and an overachiever. And her aspiration is actually going to be to have a big happy family. And I know that conflicts a little bit with her hot-headed trait, but I feel like she has had such a hard life. She deserves a happy family and she wants a big happy family. Perfect, let's get started on making Ria. Okay, let me run you through everything we did with my gorgeous, gorgeous baby Ria. I am so beyond happy with how she came out, and I think you guys are going to be as well. I kind of just want to explain a little bit about Ria's backstory, everything she's been through, and why she has the traits that she does. So Ria was only 13 years old when her mum completely disappeared. Now there is some lore with her mum, but we're going to get onto that when we make our Oasis Springs Sims. But Ria was very, very young when her mum up and left, and the only person she knew other than her mum was her grandma. So she packed up little Jude, who was just a baby at the time, and took them both to her grandma's house. It's the only place she had to go. She had no other choice. Now we're going to go into Mandy, her grandmother's lore, a little bit more when we make her, but Ria was the caregiver in that house. From as young as she was till a young adult, she was the caregiver. And she still is looking after her little brother. She went to Mandy, her grandmother, for protection, but instead got a really, really tough childhood. Her mum was never really around anyway. I haven't 100% decided what happened with her mum just yet, but I know it was really traumatizing for Ria to witness. When her mum left, she was upset, of course, but she also felt an immense amount of relief. She got to her grandma's house, obviously expecting everything to be fine, thinking it's okay, grandma's here, she's going to take care of me and Jude, and everything will go back to normal. That isn't entirely what happened. For the first 6 months, her grandmother was an amazing caregiver. She was always there for the kids, and she always made sure they were fed, got to school on time, had new clothes, and were comfortable in their home. But when it hit around the year mark of Ria's mother leaving, Mandy started to lose her mind just a little bit. Again, we're going to go more into Mandy's lore in just a moment. As Mandy declined, Ria had to step up and be the main caregiver of the household. She was only 16 when she realized how much effort and how much work she would actually have to put into raising her younger brother. And he wasn't an easy child to raise. He was quite impulsive, he was quite reckless, and this was all going on while Ria was still at school. We did quite a lot with her clothing to kind of reflect that. I wanted to give her a little bit of a darker style. I feel like she's a little bit of a gloomy sim, so I wanted to reflect that in her clothing. Obviously still make her absolutely stunning though. Her outfits for party and formal are gorgeous. I feel like she thrifted a lot of clothes as well, which is what I wanted to reflect in Ria. I tried to make a lot of her clothes look purposefully kind of tattered and old. You'll see that in a moment when I go through in detail all the choices I made with her. I really kind of wanted to give her that grungy thrifted look. I actually found it quite hard coming up with Ria's style, but I'm so glad with how she came out in the end. Let's fast forward to past Pixel, who's going to tell you all about why I made the choices that I did. Oh my god, literally look at her. I'm so obsessed. She is one of the most stunning Sims I've ever made. I'm obsessed with her. I really want to pay attention to her style. As I would have mentioned in the voiceover, I did want to give her a kind of thrifty look to her clothing, which is something I tried really hard to do. You can see her clothes are very cute, very chic, very grunge. However, they also look just a little bit old as well, which is exactly what I wanted to do with her. She has some gorgeous tattoos on her as well. I feel like that kind of would have been her escape. And as soon as she turned 18, I can see her just going out and getting a bunch of tattoos just to kind of show herself and her style. So as I said, she is very grungy and thrifty. We can see that her jeans look a little bit tattered. Her shirt even looks a little bit torn as well. However, obviously, she's absolutely gorgeous in her formal wear. I am obsessed with it. And I think she would kind of put in that effort. I can kind of see her going to her brother's graduation or a friend's party looking absolutely drop dead gorgeous. I feel like she would spend the extra bit of money on those really elegant, classy clothes. But no, I'm super happy with how she came out. I absolutely love her in every single way. But without further ado, let's go ahead and move on to creating the grandmother, Mandy. Okay, so Mandy is the grandmother, and I struggled with her so much. You're gonna see me go between about a million different clothing styles for her, but just to run you through the kind of person Mandy is, she is around 70, maybe 75 is what I imagine her to be, and I was toying with the idea of giving her grey hair. However, the black looks amazing. I ended up staying with the black hair. I think she would constantly dye her hair to try and like kind of keep her youth and keep up appearances. And now I'm going to go a little bit more into detail when we finish making Mandy about why she wants to keep up appearances. In terms of making her, I wanted to give her a very fun and colourful style, which is an absolutely huge contrast to her granddaughter Ria. I feel like she would have a lot of her clothes from when she was younger. In my head, she probably hasn't been shopping for a while. So you'll see me experiment with some yellows, some blues, some pinks. I really wanted to make her colour and her style pop out, and I kind of want to give her the same thing for the house as well, kind of have a very vibrant, bright house, but not the happiest family. So Mandy's lore, let's get into it. Mandy is obviously the grandmother to Ria and Jude, and as I said, when Ria and Jude's mum left, Mandy had to step up and become their guardian, and for the first 6 months she did really well. She was super caring to the kids and made sure they were happy all the time, but as time progressed she started to not care. And I don't mean that she doesn't love her grandkids, she absolutely adores them with all of her heart, but Mandy has always been the kind of sim to feel a lot of pressure and a lot of kind of heat from her friends and her neighbours. She always wants to look good, she always wants the house to look perfect, and she started kind of projecting that need for everything to be perfect onto the grandchildren. So rather than taking care of them and making sure they were fed and happy, she focused solely on what other people thought. She started not caring, she wouldn't cook dinners anymore, but the second they went outside in public, she would be the perfect grandmother. She would buy them ice cream, take them to the park, but the second that door closed, they'd have a very distant relationship with their grandmother again. And I think a lot of that is due to Mandy's daughter leaving. Obviously that isn't an easy thing for any mother to go through, and I think it really hit Mandy a lot. What's worse is Mandy does not know where her daughter is. She doesn't know what's happened to her daughter, she doesn't know why she left the kids. So Mandy's kind of racked with all of this old guilt and old shame and old fear, and it really affects how she is with the children. So this is Mandy. I love her so much. I'm quickly going to show you guys what she looks like up close because I know that was very sped up. Here she is. Obviously I explained her whole backstory in the speed CAS. I love her. I think she's exactly what I was picturing. I was going between giving her grey hair, but I think black hair suits her look so much more. I feel like she would be the kind to constantly try and upkeep her appearance, and despite the way that the grandkids are feeling, they're not happy where they are. I feel like she'd want to make herself believe that she's the perfect caregiver, even though she's not. Okay, so let's go through her traits. So Mandy is very interesting, as I was explaining. She is a kleptomaniac, which is very on brand for her. She is also a very erratic sim as well, which as you can imagine makes her quite hard to live with sometimes. And she's also a very lazy sim as well. As I said, she does want to be this perfect caregiver. I think she convinces herself she's an amazing caregiver, but in reality Ria had to raise Jude. Mandy did pretty much none of the work, and I feel like that's why her relationship with Ria is so strained. In terms of aspiration, I was going back and forth on what to give her. I'm actually going to go and give her a popularity one, and it's going to be the neighbor confidant, and I think this fits in perfectly. She wants to kind of give this image that she's the perfect grandmother and her 2 gorgeous grandchildren live with her, but in reality for her it is all about image. She wants everyone to believe that Ria and Jude are the way they are because of her, when in reality it's because of their own work on themselves as people. Perfect, so Mandy is all done. It's time to make Jude. Okay, so we are making Jude, and there's a plot twist in here because I was originally going to make Jude a teenager. I was playing around with his height a little bit here, trying to make him a little bit shorter, maybe like a preteen, but you'll see by the end I actually decided to make him a child. I thought it'd be so much more fun to kind of bring his story to life from the beginning. So not when he's a toddler, but more when he's a child and we can kind of shape his identity. Let's go into Jude's backstory a little bit. So Jude has a pretty strained relationship with his grandma, as does Ria, but he also has a little bit of a tricky relationship with his older sister as well, which is odd because she practically raised him. And I think he is very grateful for everything Ria's done for him, but I also think he blames Ria for a lot that went wrong. And obviously it's not Ria's fault. She did her absolute best as a teenager to give him a good upbringing, but I do think he holds some kind of quiet resentment for his older sister, even though he shouldn't. Jude is the coolest kid. He's so cool. He's quite a grumpy child for someone so young. I think a lot of his classmates would probably see him as quite jaded, but I think he would definitely try and do his absolute best in school. But I also think he's a little bit of a class clown. He would definitely do his best to get good grades. He does want a future. He wants a good job when he's older, and most of all he wants to make his mum proud. I think Ria holds a lot more resentment for his mother than he will. Ria got a bunch of responsibility thrust on her to raise her younger brother and to make a good life for him, whereas I think Jude kind of sees it as mum's gonna come back, I need to make mum proud. Ria is really strict, she does all of this stuff, she makes me come home early, but mum would never do that. That's kind of what I imagine goes on in little Jude's head. I think he's a little bit confused with what happened with his mum, and I think he blames Ria for it, despite the fact that Ria had nothing anything to do with her leaving. What a turn of events that was. We started with a teenager and we actually ended up with a child, but I love how he came out. I was just thinking more for the rotational gameplay, it would be fun to start with a child rather than a teen, so we can kind of develop his story as we go. This is Jude and I'm absolutely obsessed with how he came out, and we obviously now have to choose his trait and his aspiration. For aspiration, I would say he wants to be the cool kid on the block. I think we're going to make a little club of the kids and he's probably going to be the little leader of the club. He definitely gives me like cool kid energy. I think it'd be really cool to have a little like group of boys who just hang out after school. And in terms of trait, I actually might give him the macabre trait.
With the light.
He would be quite gloomy, and I feel like he would be a little bit obsessed with the sadder things in life just because he's seen so much of it as he's grown up. And I've just decided I also want to give them a little cat. So going into the gallery, we are going to go to my number one makeup pet, and that is Pug Owned. If you haven't checked out Pug Owned, where have you been? They make the most gorgeous pets, like literally look at them. And I feel like maybe they'd adopt like a little stray cat or something. None of these are giving stray. This one is so precious. We're definitely going to add this cat to the household. I think he's a super like tomcat looking kind of thing. This is their little cat. His name's Toby, but I think we're going to change that. I quite like Noodle, honestly. Noodle's quite a cute name for him. And I feel like he wouldn't have a collar or anything. In my head, this is a stray cat. They've kind of taken him from the street, so he probably wouldn't have a collar or anything. I reckon they'd just let him wander around. And in terms of traits for Noodle, I think we're gonna do free spirit, territorial, and maybe mischievous as well. He's probably a little bit unpredictable because he's a stray. Guys, I'm so obsessed with this family. Let's go ahead and get them moved in. Look at them. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Oh, that is so Jude. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bulldoze the lot. Sorry, BFF household, rest in peace. I might add them back, but at the same time, I don't really care for the BFF household. But it might be fun to add them in a little bit later for some more drama and some more OG townie makeovers as well. Guys, this is gonna be such a fun series. I'm already so excited to see everything we do. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. Look at Ria in the world. Oh, are you kidding me? I have a girl crush. Oh my god, this isn't good. Stop. They've already got a favourite, and it's Ria. Obviously, we have little Mandy here and little Jude over here. They look exactly how I pictured them, and I'm so happy. And of course, little Noodle looking very photogenic. We're going to go ahead and get them a house. Now, what I do, I always put them around 10 million simoleons. I will go on into build mode and copy and paste the lot into the gallery. Now, there are going to be a few builds I do on my own, but just for this first little bit of Willow Creek, I really want to get some fun, cool builds that other people have done. We're going to have a look at what other people have made. Both of my other houses in this save are by Pug Owned, but I think it would be cool to have something by someone else. I just still want it to kind of fit the vibe. This honestly fits the vibe. Oh, I love this. This one is by Lila_X. Hasn't got as many downloads as I think it deserves. Let's go ahead and place it down. I love the look of this house from the gallery because it looks so bright, which I feel like matches Mandy's personality perfectly. And assuming that the grandkids moved in with Mandy and not the other way around, I feel like she would just have this super bright house. Now, my gshade is a little bit dark because the weather is awful, but I think this is absolutely perfect. This house very much gives Mandy. There's 3 bedrooms, which is perfect, or 4 actually. And I'm gonna go ahead and do some renovations a little bit later on. I'm not gonna do those on camera for now, but once I'm done placing the lot, I always edit their muddy back down. I'm just gonna go ahead and give them 20,000 simoleons again. I think this is absolutely perfect. It's such a fun, cool house. And I can definitely see Mandy living here, and obviously the kids moving in with her as well. I feel like maybe the spray paint here Jude would have done, but we definitely need to do some renovations on the house. Definitely want to make Jude and Ria a little space and make Mandy a little bedroom. But I feel like this room is already very Mandy. So we'll see. I'll probably renovate this on my own rather than on camera because I am not a builder. I cannot build. Hence why I'm using lots from the gallery. But it's looking so good. I literally can't breathe. Look at her. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I absolutely loved filming it. Make sure to hit subscribe to stay up to date with all of the save file drama that we're going to be pursuing, and definitely pop me a follow on TikTok if you haven't already for some more short form content on all of these families. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!